Well, folks, with the Whitfield Report in its 5th season and me starting my 14th year of podcasting in 2021, I figured now would be as good time as any to start a Patreon page for the podcast. And I know everyone these days has a Patreon page who is a podcaster, but let me tell you what you're going to get if you decide to join the Whitfield Report Patreon. At the $1 level, you'll simply be contributing. That'll simply be a way of saying thank you, and I appreciate it, but that's that. However, at the $3 level on up, you're going to be getting access to an exclusive podcast that I'm hoping to do weekly called the Savage Express Podcast. And on that podcast, exclusive to Patreon subscribers and supporters, I'll be covering music and movies and pop culture and personally and anecdotes in ways that I can't cover on YouTube or traditional podcast platforms. I'm hoping to do this every week. I might not, but it'll certainly be a longer form podcast for those types of topics if you're interested in that sort of thing. And I also might be re-releasing some episodes of the Whitfield Analysis, my old podcast, re-releasing the back catalog, as it were, digging out some old video clips that I've had in archive for years, and posting all of that exclusively to the Patreon site for you guys. It's going to be a good time, and there are a couple of different tiers you can join in at. I understand if you can't join the Patreon, but if you're able to financially support the show and you want to help out, joining the Patreon would be the best way to do that. So I encourage you to go to patreon.com/Whitfield Report and sign up on one of the tiers today. And again, folks, I want to thank you for supporting the podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast. And hopefully, I can look forward to your financial contribution, which I deeply appreciate as well. God bless, folks, and God, freedom, legacy in that order. Alrighty, folks, good evening and welcome to part 2 of the Wednesday edition of the Whitfield Report / Versamedia multi-stream crossover. I am your host on the Whitfield Report channel, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live here from NGC Studios in Southern Florida. Quick contact info as usual. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SamW_NDC. Follow me on Gab and Parler at Sam Whitfield. Facebook.com/Whitfield Report. TheSamWhitfield.com is my website. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. And please, finally, if you feel if you're feeling generous, please, submit your comments and your super chats as they were to streamlabs.com/Whitfield Report. And I am joined by Sean and Alex of Real News and Versamedia. So good evening to you two.
Thank you. Good evening to you. I hope it's going to be a good evening.
Yeah. Well, we were on stream a while ago watching all this, unfold, and it still is unfolding. But
Yep. Yep.
I'm a little, I have to say, but I'm a little miffed because I went on Facebook, and this is my personal Facebook, and you know, I've been saying for the past couple of days that I've been skeptical of 2021, right? Usually it's a new year and I'm fairly optimistic, and people are always like really optimistic of, the new year because it's a new calendar year, and for some reason that means like there's a great reset and whatnot, right? Well, I've been saying that, due to the events of the past year, the calendar change is just arbitrary, right? In a sense, like, we're still dealing with COVID, we're still dealing with the election stuff, especially, now, as it were. So, I've been kind of skeptical. And so I just posted that today, I think validates that said skepticism, maybe. And I had someone DM me, or message me, I guess is the term on Facebook, and be like, "Oh, well, today serves you Trump supporters right." And just the way they kind of, said it really. Usually it doesn't get under my skin, but just the way this person was snide about it kind of miffs me a bit. So I want to go back to the beginning, and at least for me, and guys afterwards, feel free to kind of jump in. I want to go back to why I originally supported Trump in the first place. And to be honest, folks, as some of you guys know, those of you who have been following me since, before the 2016 election, you guys will know that I was not originally a Trump supporter. I wasn't anti-Trump. I kind of thought that maybe he was a joke candidate at first during the primaries. I wasn't really sure if he was serious or not about winning, but as I've said before, I'm a student of Andrew Breitbart. I kind of consider myself an Andrew Breitbart conservative, if there is such a term. And in Breitbart's final CPAC speech, he said that he would support whoever the candidate is against the left because, being conservative is just better than the left is all around. Whether that, so even if Bush had been the nominee, I would have gladly voted for Jeb Bush. I would have, grinned and, maybe I would have, kind of gagged and kind of on my nose, but I would have done it. So, I wasn't the biggest Trump guy at first, but I wasn't counting him out either. I gave him a fair shake. And what began to happen is, as Trump, became more and more, successful in the race, I ended up, following him more and more, and I was like, well, there's something to this guy, actually. And what ended up happening ultimately is these never-Trumpers came along, Ben Shapiro, namely among them, kind of ironic considering that he was supposedly Breitbart's protege. Very disappointing moment for me, by the way, because I was a fan of Ben. I had him on the show, as I am known for. He was the biggest never-Trumper, which to me was a big slap in the face to everything that, Andrew, said. And look, I'm not saying that Andrew Breitbart would have been a Trump supporter either, but I don't think Breitbart would have been never Trump either. But ultimately, we don't know. What ended up happening though is the Never Trump movement drove me to become a Trump supporter. just because of that never Trump stance. And I began to really understand the MAGA movement and what it stood for. And I can tell you unequivocally that the MAGA movement does not stand for hatred. It does not stand for bigotry. It does not stand for domestic terrorism. Any of these things that the left is now, that they've been claiming for the past 4 years. In fact, what is happening today are mostly, I would say, bad actors. Yeah, there may be a few, disgruntled, mentally ill Trump supporters, but they're in the vast minority. And I am so sick of people continually bringing up Charlottesville and now lodging this in with Charlottesville and blaming the entirety of, MAGA on what's happening today. Today is the culmination of, if anything, of, as we said earlier, of people getting sick and tired of, COVID, sick and tired of the establishment on both sides. The peaceful people are sick and tired of this, but also none of us are condoning, rushing the Capitol building. It's unfortunate that Air Force veteran was shot. And it really is. It's a tragedy, and I'm hoping that nothing more happens. But I am, folks, to be quite honest, I am pissed off that people are still missing the point of MAGA, even when I've explained it to them in detail what it's about. And if you think that it's going away because Trump is no longer president or won't be soon, let me tell you, the MAGA movement is bigger than Trump. It is. And also, fucking QAnon people. QAnon is a very small minority of internet LARPers. I'm not associated with them. Nobody. Hell, I made fun of QAnon. Versa has made fun of QAnon. We've made fun of QAnon together. It's a LARP. People know it. So stop thinking, oh, you're one of those QAnon faggot retards. No, I'm not. And if you think I am, you clearly haven't listened to this show. Anyway, folks, I'm just, like I said, I'm just kind of pissed off at people's ignorance tonight, and that's my fucking opening rant.
There goes the channel.
Take a drink then. Oh, man.
Talking about all that.
Yeah, I know you're talking about that F word, but hey, we can take a swig for that too. Every time that we, drop or we get, I don't know, what would you call it? Every time we give them ammo to annihilate our channels, we gotta take a swig.
That's literally every minute of.
I know.
You gotta survive that.
That's why I drink milk, boy.
You'll get oh man, a fucking cow at that point.
Yeah, well, I have to say, if anybody does want to catch what Sam was talking about, the coverage we were doing earlier, right as this was all breaking, you can head on over to Versa Media, youtube.com / is it Versa? I think it's Versa Media channel. That'll get you there. I'm going to double check the link to that because it's YouTube didn't have Versa Media available, so you have to think of some obscure shit, but yes, it's youtube.com / Versa Media channel. That'll bring you to our channel. Please hit subscribe. Please subscribe to Sam's channel if you haven't already. Please follow us on Twitter at Versa News Media. tag and stay up with us. And one thing I will say, because I've already said a lot before, my biggest message tonight is, and I post this on all my social medias because I genuinely am worried about this for people that don't understand how social media works for not just Trump supporters, but anybody that's fun, controversial, or interesting. You need to right now get all. If you're a big channel, you're probably not listening to us unless you're owned by. Is Owen big? No, not really. He's big-ish,
I
but
doubt he's listening to us right now.
I doubt he is. But hey, if you're somebody that has a decent following, you're building a following, whatever it is, you need to get all of your followers' emails and phone numbers right now. If you're a smaller channel like us, or you're just an average Joe with a few friends on Facebook and Twitter, you need to get all of your friends and followers' emails and phone numbers right now, because there's a big purge coming. It's going to be on social media. It's going to be on probably even credit cards and banks and other things, but there's a big purge coming. Even on Discord too. Even on D Live. Even on, I don't know, it doesn't matter. If you are on a service, there's a purge coming. You need to get everybody you care about's phone number and email immediately, because if it's going to happen. And I don't know if you're going to get whacked from it. Who knows who's going to get whacked, but people are going to get whacked. And you want to have that contact info before it's too late and you can't get it. So get it now. That's why I don't use Messenger as much as other people do. That's why I don't use any of these things. I always get emails and phone numbers, because they can't take that from you. At least not yet. They can't take those from you. So you need to get them while you can. And encourage other people to do the same, because, like I said, you gotta get now before it's too late.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, where do we go? I guess, I mean, there's still shit breaking, obviously. I guess, where do we go from here?
I think...
Or is it too early to ask that question? Maybe I'm prematurely asking that question. But, I don't know.
Well, see, I think we need to go make a big deal about this and start fucking uniting with people that will fuck over the established, like literally at any fucking cost.
Yes. I totally agree, because I think my saying I'm going to say every freaking day till we win is, anytime somebody says, oh, the Democrats are the enemy, they're so awful, blah, 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 I will stop them and say, look, the Republican establishment is the real enemy. The establishment in general is the real enemy, not the Democrats. Look, we all want to defeat the Democrats, but we need to defeat the Republican establishment before we can defeat the Democrats. I mean, it's simple, because if we can't get good candidates, we're not going to win. We're not going to beat the Democrats. If we can't get our side right, we're not going to beat the other side. Look at, what has the establishment given us? What have they given us in 2008? They gave us John McCain. He lost. What did they give us in 2012? They gave us fucking Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, and they lost. What did they give us in 2016? Jeb Bush, and he lost to Donald J. Trump, who won the presidency. So it's very clear and very obvious that the future is Trump, the future is populism, the future is America First and MAGA. So you gotta get rid of the establishment. They're the ones holding us back. They're the ones trying to screw us over and keep the MAGA America First movement from growing anymore. So you gotta get rid of them. You gotta get them all out. Vote them out. We need to name them and shame them. Everyone that is a part of the establishment, everyone that's condemning Trump tonight, everyone that's blaming Trump tonight, everyone that's been an ever-Trumper, Ben Shapiro, Dan Crenshaw, all these people, you need to name them, expose them, shame them, show people that shit, vote them out. Run MAGA America First candidates, support them, share their information, share their shit, encourage people to vote for them. You need to get the establishment out and get the MAGA people in. It is the only way forward. I have to say, we got to kind of pause our fight with the. Got to focus fully on this because this is what needs to happen. Look, I disagree with some people on the right on a lot of things, but if you agree with me on getting rid of the establishment and fighting the establishment, and you're optical and you're smart, I am 100% on your side, and we will fight alongside. Groyper's are a great example. Look, I agree with people like Nick Fuentes on probably a lot of things, but disagree on some big things. And he's done some things, said some things I don't like, and have turned me off in many ways. But guess what? At the end of the day, we're heading in the right direction. We both agree the establishment's shit. We need to get rid of them. We both agree we need to put America first. So hey, we could probably work together. We can work with Milo. We can work with Gavin. We can work with all these people. We need to, dare I say, unite the right. This time, do it properly. No wignats, no unoptical people, no white nationalists, no white supremacists, none of that stupid shit, which is obviously morally wrong, but just strategically stupid. Get rid of that.
No,
only cool people.
No backyard streaming comedians. In air quotes.
Do we have to drink on that one? I mean, you didn't name drop it, but
I didn't say his name, but heck, I'm drinking my second Yingling of the evening because I mean, I drink on hump day anyway, but if there's any Wednesday where there's an excuse for a beer, it's today. So cheers to you watching and cheers to you guys. So
thank you. Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think we can do this. It's just when you get rid of stupid shit like Q, get that shit out. No Q. Like, again, name and shame it. Q is dumb.
Also,
Q is fake and gay.
Yeah. Also, please stop asking me what this goes to the same person on Facebook who I'm pretty sure is either watching this and or listening to it in podcast form. Please stop asking what QAnon is. I have no idea. Okay. And that's the thing. Nobody knows what the fuck QAnon even is. It's a LARP. You know, as I've said before, I think the whole purpose of QAnon, how they get you, is to figure out what it is. It's like one of those. It's like one of those stupid, never-ending, shows or something that just keeps that they just keep throwing plot twists in, but there's never really any resolution. If that makes sense.
I mean, we've beaten it to death over the past few episodes because it's one of those things that started off that the left would lose their shit over. And I'm like, dude, nobody believes this shit, especially Zoomers. I mean, Zoomers still don't believe in it, but these fucking boomers, man, on Facebook and Twitter, they get infected with it. And it's really Facebook's where they got infected with Q. And they contracted the Q virus and long before the coronavirus, and it's just so stupid. They fall for this. And Cernovich actually had a good tweet about just a few minutes ago. He said the QAnon stuff brain rotted a lot of people who in their personal and professional lives are complete pros. The most powerful mass delusion I've seen in my lifetime, even more powerful than Russiagate. I mean, he's true. It's true.
It's true.
It's shocking some people believe in it.
But what irritates me too is when people think that we're a part of it. That's what pisses me.
God.
That's what pisses me off more. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, no, I don't know what it is, and I'm not wasting my time on trying to figure out what it is.
Alex, are you a Q operative?
Yes.
Sam, are you a Q operative?
Apparently I'm a Q. Apparently I'm.
You got him. He's Q.
Oh, yeah, he's choking there. I heard a.
Apparently, I'm a Q operative without even knowing I'm a Q operative.
Yeah, man.
I kid you not. Okay, so I got this email last year, around April, where some guy emailed my show email that goes through my website has one of those contact form things where you can email me and it goes to my inbox. So some guy emailed me and he was claiming to be like a special. He was claiming to be like a special agent, like a retired CIA
Special
guy, and
Yeah, emphasis on the word special.
he wanted to come on my show, and he was like going to drop all these docs, and he was going to drop like all these documents on me, and
On you.
yeah, he was going to he like sent me some links to some stuff that was like, all about like government, like involvement in like, the drug wars and like pedo, rings. Like it wasn't stuff that made any sense. Like it was out there, right? And he wanted to come on my show. So like I asked him, like I was kind of playing along. Like I was like, wow, like why don't you take this to like Joe Rogan or to Rush Limbaugh or someone, with a much bigger presence? Why me? Like I was just kind of, and he's like, well, Sam, whether you realize or not, you're part of Q's plan. You are a Q.
Oh God.
He basically did like the whole thing that Morpheus did to Neo in the Matrix, like almost like line for line, like you are the chosen one. So apparently, like I'm Q without even knowing I'm Q. You know, but it's like how many more people, how many boomers or even like Gen Xers have, because I've noticed it's a big thing with them too. How many of them have fallen for that exact same line? You know what I mean?
Dude, it's just like so stupid. I mean, of all the things, fucking QAnon. It's just such this weird cryptic thing. And I laugh at it, but it's annoying because you see these establishment people using it as the excuse. Like, oh, Trump lost, like, we lost Georgia because of QAnon and Trump. What happened
Yeah.
today was because of QAnon and Trump. It's like they're parroting what the left says. They're literally copying and pasting what the left says, saying everything bad that happens is because of Trump and QAnon. QAnon is just like, it's like a cult, you know. It is not widespread. Most people don't know what it is. It's just this weird cult.
We,
And
like I said a minute
look, I
ago,
was in campaign.
we don't even know what
Mhm.
it is.
Yeah, I mean, I basically know what it is, but like everybody has their own fucking definition and like take on it. I mean, when I was in the campaign, I ran into a few of these people. Like they're there. They're not most people, but there's a few of them, and they just like jizz all over. They're like, "Oh my God, have you seen the latest Q drop?" I'm like, "Oh, fuck." Like, can I direct you towards like InfoWars, Breitbart? Yeah, well, I mean, let's start with Fox. I mean, I don't like Fox, but
you
let's start somewhere.
you know you know conspiracy is bullshit when Alex Jones is saying that it's
Yeah.
bullshit. Like
That's what I like about Alex is he's able to separate the good conspiracies from the bad ones.
like
Like Pizzagate's a good example where he's like, it's kind of a mixed bag, some good stuff, some bad stuff. And with Q, he's just like, nah, it's bullshit. Fuck that.
well, it's like when it's so my stepdad was like starting to get into Q. He never really got into Q because like he's smart, but like he kind of dipped his toe in up until the point where like he found this video on like JFK is secretly alive, and he's like this 92-year-old war veteran, and he's been spotted at like this rally, and he's going to come back and like help Trump say, and like my stepdad was like, okay, this is BS. Like there's all this utopia related stuff with QAnon too, right? That like
To be fair, I heard that story about JFK and like Elvis. That's been going on long before Q.
yeah, well, yeah, that's my point though. Is like QAnon is filled with those types of conspiracy theories, right? It's like you know. And look, I do believe the second coming is going to come, but I don't think it's going, because I'm a Christian and I believe that, but it's not Q related.
Yeah, Trump's not the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. So
No.
Dude, Q is like replacing God in these people's lives.
well, that's what happens when you can't go to church. You get, go to Church of Q on the internet. They're the ones that ban church.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, like, the country's going insane, and these lockdowns are part of that. I mean, I see it myself. Like, I've had some really rough, times because of it, because you can't go anywhere, you can't see people, you can't have fun, you can't live your life. And look, I understand when there's hard times, you have to take hard measures, but let people choose how they want to live and die.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of this, like, I mean, this is the one thing I've been wondering is, would we have had the riots over the summer if we didn't have COVID? Would we have had the Capitol being stormed if we didn't have COVID?
I mean, maybe, like, here's the thing: if let's say that COVID was around and George Floyd still got killed, like, let's say that everything except for COVID in 2020 still happened, I think we still would see riots over George, Floyd's death, because that's kind of BLM's MO, so to speak.
BLM wasn't even like they were around a lot in like 2013, but they went radio silent.
I mean, they did riot. Oh, they did riot in Ferguson though, like in 2015 though. So like, it's, and people forget that. So it's not like George Floyd was their first, rodeo. So I think we still would have. I think we would have seen it maybe, but I don't think it would have been nearly as drastic. I think it was just fuel on the fire to, the COVID shit.
I think COVID fueled a lot of like the mass riots because people felt like they had nothing to lose. They were bored. It was fun chance for them to get out and like go wild. I I think it just fuels things and could be like the tipping point, the straw that breaks the camel's back. I have to laugh at this one person in one of my college group me chats. He says about the storming of the Capitol. He says, "Not gonna lie, this gives me March on the Jedi Temple vibes."
They didn't, but they weren't even killing people.
I know.
Like, why are
So
people like,
funny.
oh, this is so terrible? This is terrorism. This is like, if this is a terrorist
No.
attack, this has got to be the worst. Like, probably the worst terrorist attack I've ever seen. Maybe I don't know. Compare the one in like what was it, Carolina or whatever, or Georgia. Like, it's not like, I mean, that's shitty fucking terrorist attack. They literally killed nobody except like the only person that died was from their side by a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone I follow on Twitter was saying that, oh my god, this is like the Russian Revolution and they're staging a coup. Well, if that was their attempt at a coup, it was a pretty, shitty attempt at one.
Yeah, like how they keep calling it insurrection. Like, it makes it sound badass.
Yeah, like no shots were fired on them by the police.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah, you would think a bunch of right wingers would be fucking armed. No. I mean, it's DC, so who's gonna risk it, especially after Enrique?
Yeah, it's
According
fucking...
to IG, Steven is active now. I just DM'd him. Translation. Morgan said, "Mr. Face, Sammy." Aw.
Yeah, Morgan was one of the original. He was also one of the people who left Owen's cult with me, and then he was in the danger zone, and really, then he went MIA for a while, and this is the first time in like I think a year and a half I've seen him. So yeah, welcome back to the Savage Express, Morgan, and welcome to the Mod Squad. So
Savage Express sounds like a fucking like fruit whatchamacallit thing. Not salad.
a fruit roll up or
No, like a oh fuck soda, like a fruit like soda or like specialty drink stand.
yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Michael Savage already has the Savage Nation. Although it's really funny because when I started this channel, people were like, "Dude, fuck Michael Savage. You're Savage Sam." And you know he stole his savage name from you, so you know I'll take it. So.
I don't know if this is true. I need to fact check this, but apparently some of those people that stormed the Capitol stole hard drives.
Did they?
I don't know. I said I need to fact check it.
You know, I
If
feel like
that
shit. You know,
bruh, John Podesta's password. I don't think they had the best security.
well, like they made their fucking Outlook open. Like you could do so much damage could have been done.
But, yeah, but see, the other thing is again, and I hate to keep bringing this up, but a lot of these politicians are like, are you really surprised that Podesta's password is password? Like he's a boomer, and like a lot of these people have their interns and staffers do all the technical.
Yeah, but usually
stuff.
they have like policies on that shit. You know, it's like
Well,
I wouldn't think they'd be that stupid.
Well, yeah, they have policies, of course, but like you know, but like every company and you know, in school and whatnot, like yeah, we all have policies, but do people follow them by the letter? No.
Well, usually like the other thing too is like when you have accounts for a lot of these things, especially if it's like the company that gives it to you or the government, they'll give you a password and a username.
They know these boomers would forget it, or they'd write it down on their device.
I can see them doing that.
Like a company where you have to actually like hire them and you can be fired for stuff like that. Like they're fucking elected officials.
Right.
They don't have they can't really be fired for like IT shit.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of confirmation on this. The only verified account that said this was Nicole Arbor, who's a comedian. But I think she's conservative. It says the hard drives in the offices in the Capitol have been taken by citizens.
Yeah, but also Nicole Arbor joined the MAGA movement literally like 10 minutes ago. She was.
Oh, is she a grifter?
I mean, she's kind of like a thought grifter, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I tapped that. I knew who she was before she was MAGA. So she like you've seen her. Like if I were to send one of her videos, I guarantee you would know who she was. She was one of those early YouTubers like Philip DeFranco who just did like jump cut in order to do a video. So.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard her name before, but obviously haven't looked into her much. Looks like they're doing something on the floor here. I can't quite tell, but Uncle Mike is receiving a bunch of papers.
Fat Cackboy says the only solution to this shit is balkanization, succession. Well, I don't think. I think the solution is coming together and like having a discussion. Fat Cackboy. I think that's what the solution is, but that's not going to happen. So I mean, if you really want to think about it, if we really want to get philosophical here, we're already kind of balkanized on social media and whatnot. And, you know, in other ways, people don't want to have. We've kind of we've kind of balkanized and succeeded, ourselves, more or less.
Yo, there's a tweet by Scott Greer where he says, in 2011, left-wing protesters stormed the Wisconsin state capitol while it was in session. Nobody called it a terrorist attack. It's like this shit's happened before. Obviously, the Capitol hasn't been stormed to 1812 since that was the last time that shit happened, but selective outrage once again. Oh, man. Why is Nazi trending on Twitter? God damn it.
Oh, Trump's just like Hitler. He's a Nazi. I don't think the Nazis went unarmed into the Reichstag to take power. I think they had guns and they killed.
Yeah, I think what was that? The long knives. I think that was a bit more brutal than this.
Yeah, I don't think that this wasn't targeting Jews. I mean, unless you want to go and say that how sort of like the Congress is the same thing, which that's a separate talking point, but I don't think you can really compare the two. Especially like one of the biggest pictures, like it's some dude's like Mexican or whatever.
I noticed that. I thought that was like hilarious that they're, they think it's a bunch of old white men. Hispanic guy right in the center. I thought that was like hilarious.
Yep. I don't want to tell you about that.
I wonder if Baked Alaska was at this. Oh no, he's still arrested, isn't he? He's still in jail.
Yep.
Is that for macing somebody?
Yeah, it's for his autistic macing.
Yeah, well, fucking him and Christian have something in common.
Bruh, it's so stupid. That guy's the biggest grifter ever. I mean, associating with him at this point is just stupid.
We love our cops, our law enforcement.
Is that what he says?
No, that was the stupid ass song that like Baked Alaska made that made him.
That's what put him on the map.
Yeah, he made like this really stupid, and he made this really stupid pro cop like rap song that like has no. I mean, it was cringy when it came out, and like now it has, like especially today, it was bad when it came out, but it's aged even worse.
You know what they should do is do that, but like show like a montage of like play the song, then do like a montage of all the times that like cops, like shot and it like did stuff that piss off the right, like start arresting Proud Boys and like shooting that like one lady on the Capitol.
Oh my!
Like, that'd be funny.
Oh my God!
Propaganda.
Brew City. If you're in chat right now, please do that. We have some people in this channel that do edits, so yeah, please. I can get you the track. I will email someone the track if they can do that. So Davey Crocco says that Baked Alaska was in DC, I guess. So
like honestly, wouldn't it be that hard to make that video? You just need fucking Movie Maker and pictures.
Bruh, Movie Maker? What is this?
It's
2005.
I mean,
make it with a tape deck if you really want.
I could do it. I have Final Cut, but like I'm still learning, so I'm not the best editor.
It's a slide.
Dude, it's easy.
You could make that shit in fucking PowerPoint.
I could do it for you too. I'd gladly do that. I mean, it's funny. I mean, wasn't Baked also the one that started the Yang Gang? Didn't he do the Yang Gang video?
Yeah, he did. He made the song after he saw the way that things were going. He wanted to be part of the Groypers, I guess.
He wanted to hop on every trend. Like first it was Trump, then it was the alt-right, then it was Yang Gang, then it was Groypers. Now it's macing people in the fucking streets.
Yeah, fucking. Who did it better, him or Chris Chan? Someone should like
That should be a meme.
him macing someone on the street, and like compare that to like when Christian maces the GameStop employee over Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh god. Mitt Romney. The best way we can show respect for the voters who are upset is by telling them the truth. Oh, Mitt.
Ooh, fuck you, Matt.
Oh, great. Yeah, we know the truth, man. You're a fucking traitor. Get him out.
The fact that people, I mean, let's be honest, Mitt is basically talking to himself. No, like, not even the boomers like Mitt anymore.
Yeah, not even the fucking Mormons really do, but I guess it's the one they got. So
No.
Bro, one of the stupidest things is when you were talking, like some of these Republicans, I learned this from the campaign, in certain areas think like, oh, this is still more neocon area, we want to bring out the suburban vote. I'm like, yeah, so we're gonna do shit for Trump, right? No, we can't have much Trump shit. Like these people are like Romney, McCain types. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like literally, what happened in 2018, 2020? Trump wasn't on the ballot. Turnout goes down. Trump brings out people that normally don't vote for Republicans before. Like, these people don't get it. Like, I've seen so many stupid takes. I'm just like, dude, sit down. Like all these people, I'm not even gonna like debate him anymore. I'll just be like, sit down. Shush. Wise up. Maybe that would be my thing. I'll just pick wise up. Learn. Read a book.
Baked
That
was
should be it.
Baked was in Pelosi's office, according apparently with Nick Fuentes.
Nah, that's a fake. I've seen that. That's a fake image.
dude,
They were sharing that, and they were like, "Oh, the white supremacist Nick Fuentes has an alt-right e-celeb, baked Alaska at the Capitol," and it was totally fake.
it'd be fine if the fucking Paul brothers somehow found their way into the Capitol.
Yeah,
Oh God.
I could see it.
I think also Julia Rose is going to somehow find a way to insert herself into this too at some point. That's Jake Paul's e-thought girlfriend who
The model. Isn't he breaking up with her? No, Logan's breaking up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Dude, could you imagine dating those fucking douchers? Oh God.
I'm surprised.
Don Lemon.
Like when they broke into the Oval, like to the fucking Capitol building, like I'm surprised no one just hid for like out, and then just like came out later, like during this, and been like, "Screw you guys."
That would be funny.
Well, do you remember a few years ago, like near the end of Obama's presidency, there was that guy who landed on the White House lawn, entered the White House, and was like, Joe Rogan did a whole bit on it. How there was a guy like walking around the White House for like 10 minutes. So
yeah, their security, it's like, in many ways it is like top notch, but like, dude, they have some fucking cracks in it.
well, I mean, they are government bureaucrats, so at the end of the day, so what do you expect? So
yeah.
During the Obama presidency, like flew the drone into the I think it was into the White House, and it was actually like some dude who was drunk, like a employee.
Oh really?
Yeah, there was like a drone. They like flew around through there, and like this was back when drones were like the new thing.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
there was a guy there was a guy back in the 1980s who like broke into the Queen's I can't remember whether it was Buckingham or wherever the Queen lived. The royal family has so many. Anyway, there was a guy who I think broke into one of the palaces and was broke in, wandered around, left, and broke in again, and then woke the Queen up. Like it made national it made like international news that this guy had broken in twice, and that was almost like 35 years ago that happened. So, you know, so
Yeah.
breaking into government buildings is not
If you do it at the right time, it's sometimes not as hard as you'd think.
Like, yeah, like especially the Capitol building, because they did at least at one point in time do tours of it,
Mm.
like semi-public.
And the
Like,
White House does those Christmas tours.
yeah, but like for stuff like this, it's different.
Yeah. Don Lemon looked dead into the camera and said to Trump, "You are the worst of the worst, and someday in the future, that will be all anyone will remember of you."
Nope.
No, sir. Remember the fucking best president ever.
well.
Yeah, I'm just so tired of this shit. Like, it's like after Charlottesville, something totally unconnected to, Trump. They just pounce hard on it, and they're like, "He is the worst president ever. This is his worst moment. It's one of the worst moments in American history." Like, they just go freaking at it. I'm
If
like,
he's
what did
the
he
worst
do?
president ever, how the fuck did he get more votes than Obama?
Yep.
And I love how they're acting like Don Lemon is like a big rebel or something too. It's like no, Don, you're not the one who's banned. You're not the one. You're on fucking national cable TV saying this, like, with your producers and in your like corporate control room and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they think they're all hot shit. Like they're the fucking, Nirvana coming onto the scene. It's like, no, you guys are the fucking record companies. Like, what are you? You're nothing special. You're nothing like going against the grain.
Yeah, not when the big fucking corporations all support you.
Yeah.
Look who supports them and look who supports Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's the rebel and which one's the establishment?
Yeah. Yeah. It's always just. It's like a fucking endless cycle. That's how I wonder with Biden and what are they gonna do now? Because they love Trump for their ratings. Are they gonna still keep bringing him up and bashing him and like blaming him for shit, or
Well,
are they gonna
it's funny.
find somebody else?
It's funny that you mentioned that because Keith Olbermann, that washed out, sports
Mm-hmm.
Commentator or whatever he's doing. I'm not even sure he does sports anymore. He has said that he's still going to keep an eye on Trump. Like that, like Trump derangement syndrome has literally become that guy's grift. And I mean, I actually, did I ever tell you guys my Keith Olbermann story?
No, please do.
So okay, so like 7 years ago, it was literally the month I had just moved here from Florida to Colorado. And I went to the mall with my mom, and she went into a couple stores that I didn't want to go into, so I was waiting, and I was waiting by like one of those couch areas that had like, a couple couches, a coffee table, and they had ESPN on, but they had ESPN2 on, and Keith Olbermann was on. So I tweeted out, like, I just tweeted out, like, I didn't know that Keith Olbermann had a show on ESPN again. Furthermore, ESPN2. I'm kind of surprised. Just an innocuous tweet, right? So then I send that out, and literally, like 2 minutes later, I see reply from Keith Olbermann. I don't appreciate your tone, young man. I don't like what you're insinuating. So I reply back, I'm just saying I'm shocked that that your show's back on TV. I didn't know that you were still relevant. So he tweets back at me like, son, this is one battle you do not want to get into.
Oh.
So I just like started tweeting back and forth, but no, it gets better because he's on. I'm watching his show, right? And then I noticed that like as he cuts to commercial break at one point, I see him grab his phone like as it's cutting to commercial and reach out to type something. I figured out that he was tweeting back at me during commercial breaks, basically, and in between his show. So eventually he blocked me. And so for a while on my bio, I had proudly blocked by Keith Olbermann on my Twitter handle. So
That's awesome.
So that was fun. And then I guess that account of it, like, he changed accounts and then I was unblocked. So, boo. But yeah, I was blocked by him for like 5 years. That was fun. So,
dude, you should print that out. It's a badge of honor.
I actually got written up in some like blogs for that, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I almost got blocked by Lauren Southern, but it didn't happen. I know Phil did, but I don't know. Maybe I got lost in her mentions. I don't know, or maybe I got her and she couldn't do it because I called her out in the right way. But dude, blocks are a fucking badge of honor if you get from the right people.
Yep. Yeah, it's I wish times were simpler like that again.
Yeah. So what happens when you take the red pill? It's a jolt of reality that comes with a cost. We were in the blue pill till 2016, then boom, we entered the red pill, and now we have people storm the fucking Capitol.
Depends on what you define as a red pill. I mean, because I was like personally, I would say that me following Andrew Breitbart back in 2011 was kind of my awakening, at least how the media worked. Which was a big kind of red pill moment for me. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, some people it happened to sooner and later, but for the general country as a whole, like, I mean, culture and society changed, and politics, of course, in 2016. Like, hasn't been the same
for sure.
And it's a red pill. It's the red pill generation, red pill movement, red pill times. I mean, whatever you want to call it. Things are different. That's why I am so optimistic and hopeful. Despite all the setbacks, despite anything bad that happens, it's like, look, we have entered a time of great awakening, great change. I can't be a doomer now. I mean, I just can't.
And okay, so this is actually a question I want to ask. So, how long do you guys think Biden has as POTUS, assuming he gets in?
I give him 2 years.
I see. I'm with Davey on this one. Biden lasts 6 months due to medical issues, and then we get Kamala. The guy is not well. Like that's the other thing. Call me a conspiracy theorist. You know, of course I'm already linked to the truth movement somewhat, so it doesn't matter. But I mean, Biden he's not doing well.
Yeah, I still think they're gonna keep him in for the full term. Honestly, one thing I could see, even though I think he would run for the second term, I could see him do one term and have Kamal run for the the next one for 2024. But I really don't think they'd swap him out for Kamal. I think it's more useful to have it the way it is for them, because Biden is a puppet. Kamala's like kind of a puppet, but in many ways, she's smart enough and fierce enough that she would go rogue if she wanted to, or just say fuck it to some things. Whereas Biden's too just fucking stupid and like outdated to even do that.
The one thing I will give Ben Shapiro credit for, because I do listen to his podcast just to see what he has to say sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing he did say that I thought was interesting was that Kamala was very much she's kind of the female Barack Obama. She's a radical, but she's also a schemer somewhat. She has Obama's apparent charisma. That she's going to, so like I'm not saying I like Biden, but out of the two, I think I would prefer that Biden stay in as long as possible. But I think the left is also going to try and do whatever they can to get Biden out of the way as soon as possible, so that they can install Kamala, who's more radical. But then again, you might be right, but I definitely don't think Kamala is going away anytime soon, unfortunately.
See, I kind of disagree with Ben's take that Kamala is the female Obama. I think they wanted her to be, but it became a forced meme because she really, I mean, I thought she was going to get the nomination, but she got the second best thing. I think she's more of like that's what she wants to be, but she just isn't. She wants to be the female Obama, but she isn't.
No.
She doesn't have it all.
No, and I don't think she is, but I think that's how I think Ben's saying that's how a lot of Democrats see her, which I have actually heard some Dems say that. Generally, look, Obama on the surface has the likability factor.
She does not.
Kamala does not.
Yeah. She could have, but she doesn't. And that's what I'm always saying, is that she's like, it's like what she wants to be. She wants to be the female Obama, but she isn't. And I think it's more useful for them to have her as a VP, because it's kind of like Dick Cheney. Yeah, you're not the president, but you're running the show secretly, behind the scenes, second in line. So she is basically going to be the president, but she's
so you think
sneaky about.
So you think she'll pull a Dick Cheney and be the puppet master?
Absolutely. And I think that's where my prediction of her, getting the nomination kind of wasn't, people mocked me like, oh, you got it wrong. I was like, did I? Because look at where we are. It's like, she kind of had the nomination, getting the VP slot, because we knew the VP would be controlling Biden, and she got it. So she got the next best seat in the House, maybe the better seat, because you have less attention on you when you're the VP. So there's that. And did anybody see that she pretty much ripped off that freedom story that she had? where she said, "Oh, I was a little girl during the civil rights movement, and the cop asked me what I wanted, and I said freedom." And that was ripped off from a Playboy interview with Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
She literally plagiarized the greatest civil rights leader in the country, Martin Luther King, that everybody makes statues for and bows down to, but nobody cares. Nobody
Nope.
cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And the Georgia results pretty much.
I mean, let's not only that, but let's not forget that she called Joe Biden a rapist.
Racist. Yeah, she did.
Well, a racist and a rapist too. Or like a sexual predator at one point. I'm pretty sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then once she got the nominee, oh my god, I've been friends with Joe for 25 years. I worked with his son. You know, I worked with his son to reform criminal justice. Meanwhile, she has the highest black incarceration rate in San Francisco as district attorney, which, interestingly enough, I did a stream on that very thing when she became the nominee, and the excerpt of that, I clipped that specifically. The stream didn't get taken down, but the excerpt clip where I talked to her criminal justice record did get taken down. It didn't have that many views, but which is the other surprising thing, but still.
Wow. Oh, one thing too, talking about things getting taken down. There's a lot of people spreading this more disinfo. This way it kind of annoys me really badly about a lot of these events and these, echo chambers online. Is the guy with the bullhorns that was storming the Capitol? A lot of people were saying he's Antifa. And Elijah Schaefer's debunking that. He says, people keep saying this guy's Antifa BLM. He is not. Stop spraying disinfo. I've spoken to him in depth on camera in Arizona. He's a huge supporter of QAnon and regularly walks around with a sign saying, quote, Q sent me. How does this stuff keep spraying stick to the facts? Oh, God. These fucking Q people. Imagine holding a sign, Q sent me. Jesus Christ. Oh, no. Dang, Q's their fucking prophet. They're God, some of these people. Yeah, he says, I'm not claiming I know what side he's on. Just talk to him a lot about Q, and those that know him personally tell me he's a great patriot. So I'm just saying the BLM tie doesn't make sense. That makes sense. Fucking Q.
Yeah, Davey and Morgan, you missed my epic rant at the beginning of the show. I'm a bit more calm now that I've had some of my beer, but man, I was fired up at the beginning of the stream. So
yeah, you were coming in hot.
Also, sorry guys. I know that you guys are never getting monetized on YouTube because of that rant, but
yeah, it's okay. We're not for the money. We're in it for the fun.
So. Well, who knows? We might have a certain group project that
Oh.
I might invest some of that Streamlabs money in too at some point. So
Oh, really? You got money from Streamlabs? Oh, from the super chats?
yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, I wish I wish Streamlabs was a sponsor. So that would be awesome, but I doubt they would like the content of my stream/podcast. So
Yeah. Apparently, there was a rumor. I know this is a little off topic, but apparently, there was a rumor going around, and I saw it too today that, wait, is this? I don't know, it's something different. But I was hearing like that Cyberpunk 2077 has like lost 80% of its gamers, which I don't know how really true that actually is, but it makes some sense because, once you beat the story a lot, people like stop playing for a bit or change it up to something else. So
Yeah, I mean, I already beat the game, so what's the point?
yeah. Oh, apparently that story that I was posting where it was like all these devs supposedly talking about the state of the studio and everything, and they were talking about Keanu. Remember that thing I was rattling off? Like CD Projekt Red even sent out tweets saying, "Normally we don't comment on rumors, but this time we want to make an exception as this story is simply not true."
Of course, they're gonna say that though.
Hmm.
so uh, never mind, Alex. I was gonna ask you a question, but might not be good on a live stream. I'll ask it offline in case anyone wants to play Cyberpunk without spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers, bruh.
Yeah,
I still haven't played mine yet,
I
but
don't.
waiting for that
I don't.
GPU.
I personally don't care about spoilers. I don't even have like an. I don't even have a PS4. Let
Here,
alone.
how would you have felt if somebody spoiled you that Mandalorian season 2 finale?
I would have been pissed. Probably.
Exactly, man. That's how
Yeah.
I feel about spoilers now. I used to like, I don't know. I mean, I've never liked spoiling, but like with social media and all these shows getting like, there's big surprises or big twists, like, especially like Game of Thrones or something like that. Dude, if I was spoiled on certain things, I would just be
Did
enraged. I
you?
remember,
Oh,
hmm
go ahead.
I was gonna say Alex actually spoiled the Last Jedi's ending for me. And initially, I was like, "Oh man, why did you have to spoil that?" But like, once I saw the movie, I was like, "Nah, it wasn't worth it."
Did
That
you?
wasn't. Doesn't matter. It's shit.
So you saw the ending of The Mandalorian, right?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
Did you see
I'm glad
the?
I knew nothing about that.
Did you see that Pablo Hidalgo
Yeah,
made
dude, he was being an asshole to fans.
well he made fun of Star Wars Theory, which for those of you who don't know, for those of you who aren't nerds like us, Star Wars Theory is probably the biggest independent like Star Wars channel on YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
he got emotional, like he was crying on his live stream when Luke Skywalker uh came back. And for those who, I just found this out, but Star Wars Theory had cancer when he was a kid, and Luke Skywalker was like one of his, you know, like as a kid, dealing with cancer, like Luke Skywalker was one of his heroes that kind of helped him get through that. So, he's been very emotionally tied to the character. So seeing Luke return on The Mandalorian, was emotional for him, and Pablo Hidalgo just kind of shit on him, and you know, like people were getting outraged, like, it's kind of funny how he shot himself in the foot over it. So let's see.
Well, I've heard that that's not the first time that Pablo has done that a few times, and other people at Lucasfilm have done that a few times. and it's just, dude, don't shit on your fans. I mean, that's just so stupid. I mean, I can't believe this even has to be like told to them, like, hey, don't make fun of the people that are literally crying over your content, how much they love it.
Well,
And I understand not everybody's gonna get that emotional over something, maybe think it's like whatever, but dude, your fans are emotionally connected to your work. I mean, you should love that. And shows doesn't give a shit.
not only that, but don't shit on the biggest YouTube channel that is like literally helping people stay involved in your franchise. You know,
Yeah.
don't
Aw.
don't shit on a big channel that is literally helping promote your stuff. So honestly, that's how stupid some of these companies are. Though they bite, you know, they hurt people who are literally trying to help them. So
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, if I was like Lucasfilm, I probably would have fired that guy if I saw that.
people are calling for his people are calling for him to be fired, and look, people are like, oh well, that's cancel culture. No, no, it's not.
No.
It's people. It's you know, people getting tired of bullies, and you know what, like you said, Pablo Hidalgo has done this before. So,
Yeah.
Jolly, think fast in chat. What's your take on? I know that you're the probably the biggest Star Wars fan besides me in chat. So, let's see.
Nice. Yeah, I love Star
Uh,
Wars. I mean, especially the Mandalorian. I think if Disney had started with that, I would have loved, you know, the future. But dude, they made me hate something I love because of the sequels.
mm-hmm. Well,
But the Mandalorian's awesome.
I think that's the case, you know, for the entire thing. Um, yeah. Three Olives in chat says, "What a shitty day." Well, Three
Not
Olives.
really.
That's why I am. That's why I'm drinking. So, Joey asked, "What was the question again?" Well, I'm flirting with Morgan. I haven't forgotten you, Morgan. I can never forget you. Jolly, I was just asking, since you're a Star Wars fan, what do you think of the whole thing with Pablo Hidalgo, shitting on fans, basically, again? But,
Yeah, he's such a dick, Pablo Hidalgo.
yeah.
I remember I found out about him from that Star Wars show they were doing on YouTube, and they would like talk to him about stuff. That's when I first heard about him, but I knew nothing about him until these interactions with fans. And people have the tweet screenshot, he privated his account, and it makes it worse because he put that tweet as his banner on his Twitter of him mocking
Yes.
fans.
Now, my favorite person in the Star Wars universe right now.
Favreau or Filoni?
Well, okay, I love Favreau and Filoni, but aside from that, I have to admit I'm a simp for
Gina.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will admit to being a simp for Gina Carano. So feel free to make funny or what, but do yourself a favor and please Google her before you do so. So.
Oh, Mandalorian season 3 got delayed, and he's going to be writing the Ahsoka series. Filoni. That's the only thing I'm a little worried about is, and I'm not going to spoil the ending to the Mandalorian for anyone, but the way they end it, I'm kind of worried what are they going to do now? Because in many ways, the series could have literally like ended at this season, but there's a lot of shit that they set up that they're going to explore in a future season. Such a hit.
Well, yeah. Jolly says,
Well, and the other thing I'm worried about too is I hope Filoni doesn't get tied into a bunch of other projects that hurt. It's more quantity and less quality because he's going to be a writer on the Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic. Like Disney's just pumping all these fucking shows out. I'm like,
well,
okay, we're having oversaturation again. We've been here before. This is the problem we had before. Too many movies. Now we're gonna have too many shows.
well, that's what they did with Marvel, right?
Yeah.
And I did say this to my mom the other day because she's been a big Star Wars fan since, I mean, she was in college when when Star Wars came out in '77, and
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with the prequel trilogy. Yeah, say what you will about them, but like going to see them like every 2 to 3 years was a big deal. Like in theaters, like
Oh yeah.
it was a holiday. Even the trilogies was a big deal. But now, because they're making series and they're like they're coming out with new stuff like every year. Like I don't know, it's kind of lost its you know like special like going to see Star Wars used to be a big event, and it's not anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's because like anything, the more of it there is, the less value there is, and that's where you hurt yourself. Is if you're pumping out so much that you oversaturate it, it's less valuable because it's like, oh, it's just another Star Wars movie. When before it was like, no, this is a new Star Wars movie. We haven't had one in years,
Yeah.
and you had to wait a decade between trilogies. I mean, it just simply isn't gonna. It's not gonna be the same. You don't have the same level of quality when you do that.
In a way, that's why I'm happy to be a James. That is why I'm still happy to be a James Bond fan, because they're not cranking out James Bond films every year.
That guy on the fucking YouTube on that stream, and he's like doing all these fucking hand motions and shit.
Yeah, he's waving
This is
his
weird.
hands around trying to do some Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah.
Fuck's going on there? And it's like little doctor fucking mask. Like, oh, I'm so cool. I'm wearing a fucking mask when I'm speaking. Oh,
I'm so um I'm so good. I'm so righteous. I can I'm gonna go back to that for a second and see what he was saying.
It's fun. It's funny watching this because on my stream I have it on mute, so to me it just looks like a guy, doing hand gestures. So Jolly says,
Yeah, I have the video on mute because
yeah,
it's just boring crap, but I'm gonna go back to it. Oh, he's from PA.
oh boy.
ooh,
Oh wait, I think he was calling out voter fraud.
Oh, good.
I think he was based. Or is he waving the hands? Because, yeah, he was really waving them. Da, da, da. Let's see. Oh, my God. Do they follow Robert's rules?
Of course they probably do. Look at fucking Pence. He's like,
He was laughing there.
the fucking burglar over there helping the seal.
okay. So this is interesting. So YouTube, or no, not YouTube. Twitter suspended Trump for posting a video, but Facebook has not suspended Trump's page yet. He
No, they did a
says,
24-hour suspension, I thought.
well, uh, let me Let me post this in Discord then. They might have given him. They might have like given him a 24-hour suspension, but this is still showing up for me. I put in Chad's chat.
Well, no, his account is still gonna be there, but when they suspend him from posting, it's like they kind of put you in timeout, but your account's still there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with his Twitter. Like his Twitter's still there. Like I can access all his tweets, but he can't tweet. It's a weird sort of like, like half of a suspension almost. You're suspended from posting, but you're not. Your account isn't suspended.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Hell of a day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what do you think, speaking of stars, what do you think of the Book of Boba Fett?
I'm more curious than anything. What I want them to do is I like the idea of Boba Fett as a villain. Because he is.
Is
but, well, what I don't want to have happen is for them to do Star Wars meets John Wick, which is what I feel like they're going to do.
he? That'd be badass.
I mean, it would be, but as a John Wick fan, do we need?
What's this? What is this Book of Boba Fett? What's going on with that?
So when you see the second season, this will make sense. But they're doing a Boba Fett TV show now.
Yeah, they're doing yeah.
On some, first of all, I think the title sounds really like stupid. The Book of Boba Fett, like maybe I bet when you watch the show, you'll be like, "Oh, that's why it's called that." But the title sounds very unintimidating.
Well, they're also ripping off the title of like one of like the Punisher Marvel comics from the 80s, which I think is like the book of Frank Castle, or like Frank Castle's Books of Blood or something like that, or
oh really?
Something like that. So
basically, though, but it's a Boba Fett show, and they're bringing. I do love that they've brought back the guy that played Jango Fett. That then they like in the special editions they replaced the original Boba Fett voice with the guy that played Jango's to keep it consistent. So he is going to be Boba, and I mean, I feel like I mean, it sounds cool. I am intrigued, but you gotta be careful with Boba Fett, because if you do too much of him, it kind of ruins it. Because he's kind of always that character that you only see a little bit of, and that's what keeps it cool. Is that he's got that mystique. You don't really know a lot about him, and same with Django. It's like you don't really see much of Django. It's like, oh, they picked up this dude that's like a Mandalorian, maybe, and they've cloned him, and you don't really know a lot about him, just like Boba.
The Olive says probably won't be that good. He's like an anti-hero now, which I mean, yeah, that's my one problem, because I mean, to me, when the Mandalorian first started, like in the first season, I kind of saw Mando as an anti-hero. So
kind of is, because he's like a bounty hunter, but he decides to make a personal decision for good reasons.
Yeah. So,
but at the same time, and Boba Fett, I mean, Boba Fett to me isn't a good or a bad guy. He's just a bounty hunter. He's kind of in that gray field.
So why have another one, right?
Yeah, that's where I don't quite understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I know why they're doing this because fans love Boba Fett, but
Well,
I
yeah,
don't know what they're
that.
gonna do with him. Yeah, because you can't really make Boba Fett good, but you can't make him like evil either. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's probably not a good idea to make like a show about him, unless it's like a limited series.
Which, who knows? It might be.
Yeah, and that's what I hope they do with all these shows they've announced, because they announced like 6 shows. I hope they're just 1 or 2 season shows.
I know we're gonna get like Dave's talking about with Mando. We're at least going to get up to season 5 if everything go. Now, the other thing that people have to consider is with COVID, being a thing now, what's gonna happen, right?
Well, it's already delayed because of COVID and because of Filoni's helping out with some of these other shows, but I hope it gets delayed. I don't want it rushed in for them to fuck it up.
I
Apparently,
mean,
the Book of Boba Fett is what Disney has wanted since buying Lucasfilm,
Why
according
did
to
they
Screen Rant.
fucking do it?
well,
What?
I
When did
mean,
they do it then?
Yeah, I don't know. And
he's gonna
yeah,
the
what?
the Olive says, and he's gonna rule over the crime syndicate. That's how it will work. A nice crime boss. Yeah, see, I wouldn't mind if they did that. Like, if they made Boba Fett kind of like the Tony Soprano of the Star Wars universe, I could, except for not fat, but if they if they made
Dude, he
Boba.
was Boba Fett in this fucking season.
Oh my god, he was Tony Soprano. He was the Tony Soprano of Star Wars. So, which by the way, Jeff, I fucking love. Of course, who doesn't love The Sopranos? But Jeff started watching The Sopranos, so
I heard a little bit of that before I
yeah.
had to turn off the stream.
Wait, did you turn off the stream already?
No, I'm talking about their stream on Twitch.
Yeah, the one I did last week. So,
Yeah, I do agree. I hope they don't turn Boba Fett into a good guy. But like, if you're gonna make a show about him, like, you're inevitably gonna have to make him a goodish guy, or else nobody's gonna watch it.
yeah, well, at least develop his character. You know, like in the original trilogy, let's face it, he just kind of stood around and looked cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I think again, it's one of those characters you gotta be delicate with. It's like I'd like to explore it, but not too much.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, a Jango Fett one might have been. I know it's not what the fans would have wanted, but that might have been actually a better route, to be honest.
I'm sure they'll get there eventually. The big news is Star Wars: The High Republic, right? Like,
Oh, the comic series, yeah.
well, no, they're making a show too.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
go look
like
that shit.
it's being criticized, and rightly so, as like being as it as being like highly SJW.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know if they're making a show because I just still see the comic series.
Okay, well, hopefully that's all it is.
Yeah.
But
Isn't it kind of in the Old Republic era?
supposedly it's like before. Supposedly it's supposed to be like before the old, or like, yeah. Supposedly, from what I understand, it's supposed to be like before the old Republic era. So kind of like the first era of
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars. Speak.
It says it's set 200 years before the events of the Skywalker saga and 800 years after the fall of the Old Republic. So I guess it's between the Old Republic and the Age of the Republic, the Skywalker, timeline.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
now we've talked about this before, but what I want is I want them to do the Old Republic era. I want them to do Revan, and
Yes.
I want them to do Revan as a man. Damn it! And what do the fans want? We want Keanu Reeves as Revan. Damn it!
See, that would be cool, but I feel like you would just see Keanu in it. Like, that's the problem, is you just see Keanu. You don't see the character, you know what I mean? I love Keanu, but I know Star Wars either intentionally or unintentionally does this thing where they pick unknowns, and even when they pick known people, but they slip them in a way that they really fully are their character. They're not Liam Neeson. They're not Ian McGregor. They are that character.
Well, although to be honest, like before Keanu kind of came back, right, as John Wick before he made his big comeback, I always saw Keanu as Revan, like, playing the Coder games and then reading like the Old Republic comics as a kid. So it's not that far fetched. Now, you mentioned that, like well-known actors like Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor was an unknown actor before, the Phantom Menace. So, I mean, look, if they have an unknown actor who can play Revan, go for it.
Yeah. I think I know what you're thinking of, though. So Star Wars: The High Republic is the comic, but the TV version that they're making of like the last few days of that era is called Star Wars: The Acolyte. Yeah, it's Acolyte. That's how it's spelled. The Acolyte. So that's basically going to be the High Republic TV show. So I think the Ahsoka one should be really interesting because it's probably going to deal with that Thrawn stuff, which I never finished Rebels, so I don't know the full lore on that.
I'm in the middle of season 3.
Dude, what did you think of Rebels?
I mean, I'm not done with it, so like so far it's good. I'm in the midst of season 3. My problem with him introducing Thrawn is purely nostalgia in the sense that I grew up with Thrawn from the Thrawn trilogy of the 90s. So to me, that's how I will always see. That's how I'll always see Thrawn. So
I never liked Rebels, honestly. I thought the animation was really bad, and it just, compared to the Clone Wars, it was just not on the same level.
I agree. The one thing I like about, I'm still in the midst of the Clone Wars too. The one thing I like about Rebels is that it's a lot shorter too. Like,
see, that's what I loved about. I mean, where are you on the Clone Wars?
I'm somewhere in the midst of season. Okay, so basically, I started the series on when it was still on Netflix, and then and then when they pulled the plug on, and then like when Disney Plus took over, I forgot where I left off. So I think I'm in the midst of season 3 somewhere.
Okay, so yeah, you're in the part where the first 2 seasons are good, but the show finds its form in season 3 when they start doing these like 3 to 4 episode arcs. That's when it's like really, really gets really good, and by the later seasons, it's awesome.
The first 2 seasons of the Clone Wars, my biggest problem with it is, and again, yes, I know it's a kid's show, as a whole, but the first 2 seasons are purely a kid's show, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it as an adult, but I mean, I started watching that show from the first episode and watched every episode when it aired, and I bet the first two had that more kiddie vibe, but when you get like they had some more adult episodes, like the Rookies episode for all those clones that were on that base, and they start getting ambushed and attacked. But when you get into the later seasons, it gets a lot darker. Like seasons 4 and 5. 5
Yeah.
was probably the best season. That shit was so good, and it really takes form there. But you appreciate the length of the show then, because it's like I think even then it was something like 20 episodes, and then they went to the 13 episodes. I still need to watch the last season, but that's when like the length makes perfect sense and works really well. You get these like 3 to 4 episode stories that they take their time, they're not rushed, and you really get into the universe. Yeah, fifth season was 20 episodes. Yeah, and they were like 2022, and the length really worked well.
Joey, I'm currently playing KOTOR 2 right now.
Oh, nice.
Not sure why you would have a boner for Kreia, considering that she's like 100 years older. Well, I do know why, because she's
Grandma.
because
Fuck.
because well, no, it's not that. It's because she's evil and Jolly is also evil.
No, I thought with Priya, I thought that her alignment. I thought she was one whose alignment depended on your character's alignment. It'd be the opposite of whatever your character was.
Well, the whole thing with Freya is, and spoiler alert for a 17-year-old game at this point, but
Well, I
she
don't think she'll that yet.
but she's
Yeah, I haven't played that yet. No spoilers.
well.
I thought there was one character whose alignment would be the opposite of whatever your alignment was.
Yeah,
I thought she was the one.
Yeah, she's one of those characters. She's kind of one of those characters that she's one of those characters that kind of is like neither light nor dark. So
interesting. I am going to play those games eventually once I get my new PC because they look awesome. I'm playing some.
You can play that on your old PC, Sean. I'm fairly
hey,
high.
Yeah, but I'm playing Deus Ex right now.
Hey, Sean. I mean, hey, Morgan. I don't judge. So
yeah, Revan's in the SWTOR game, so that's my interaction with Revan, but I do need to play the KOTOR ones. I've been playing Deus Ex. For anybody that hasn't played that, it's from the 90s, and it's like a fucking, if Alex Jones made a video game that was based off the Matrix, this would be it. It's got some pretty big red pills coming in hot right out the gate. And I'm like about 30% through the game, I think, roughly. So I still got a bit to go, but I hope to be done with that game before I get my new PC all set up. But did you ever play Battlefront 2, Sam?
Which one? The new one that has shitty loot boxes, or the good one from 2006?
Yeah, that answers my question. Well, the new one, they actually finally got rid of those loot boxes and added a lot of content. I've heard, and I actually bought it because of this. It's actually pretty much what Battlefront 3 should have been. It's literally what we've wanted at this 2 years later, after when they ended their development on this game and live updates. So I tried checking it out again, but I've been playing the original Battlefront 2 quite often, like every night or so. I mean, God, that game is still great.
When I was in middle school, my friends and I would literally would like my boy, like every once in a while, my Boy Scout patrol and we would get together, at someone's house, or
Oh, really?
hanging out on Friday, and we we would like sleep over and like like like
Don't do that today.
we would stay up to like
now they have girls in the boys.
we would stay up till like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning just playing like Star Wars Battlefront. It was cool. So
That's awesome. People were out there playing sports. I was at home playing Battlefront 2 back in the day. That game was the shit.
yeah,
I loved it. It's still the shit, but back then, like, it was just, oh man. I mean,
yeah.
it was just so much fun, and you could do so much. The new ones, you couldn't do like a quarter of what you could do in that game. And they finally, after multiple updates, I think literally it was like 2 years of updates, the new Battlefront 2 has pretty much all the heroes that you had in the old games and more, and finally has like the equivalent number of maps, I think, because they had like Clone Wars era, they added the sequels, they had Rogue One, they had a bunch of shit finally to that game that really it felt like a full game at that point, what it was meant to be. And they got rid of loot boxes, they fixed a lot of the problems, and I mean, from what I understand, like it's actually probably one of the most surprisingly good redemption arcs for a game ever. So
There was this really fun game that was like that was a PSP exclusive back in the day called Battlefront Renegade Squadron.
I remember that. Yeah,
that
I
was
never played it, but I've heard of it.
that was fun. It never got like the critical success that it should have, but it was fun. So let's see. Olive says I used to play Counter-Strike religiously growing up. Was even in some leagues. I remember Counter-Strike being a thing when I was a kid, but I don't remember playing it ever.
Wasn't that what CS:GO is now?
Well, it's alert. Well, what do you think the CS stands for?
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but wasn't Counter-Strike something else
Well,
like before CS:GO?
They had Counter-Strike Source, and that was probably the one they're talking about. There was one before that, which was even older, but I think most people remember the Source one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like I know there were different games before, but isn't it like basically the same game as it is now?
For the most part, I mean, it's the same formats, just the graphics have changed. Now they had weapon skins.
Right. Yeah. That's what I thought. I don't know a lot about, but that's kind of what I've heard.
It's one of the more interesting ones too, because I think that game was a mod of either Quake or what's the one with the Morgan the Freeman guy, Half-Life. I think it was one of the mods of those games, and then it became like probably one of the first big esports games out there. It's very, very skill intense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think remember my roommate from freshman year. I think he played CS:GO.
Yeah, and they had that whole scandal with the skin lottery.
What was that? I don't remember that.
Yeah, so that was with CS:GO. Like, you used to be able to go and trade like skins, and people were, selling them and then like using them to like bet on like the thing like internet gamble.
Oh
Like
shit!
the whole operation out. That was actually pretty bad. Like kind of funny, but like. And then my one friend, he got that skin fever at one point in time, and bought a bunch of skins. I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, it was actually pretty ingenious because like Steam knew what was going on, but they didn't care because I think when they sold them on the marketplace, they got like a percentage of the the sales price. They took like a little tax on it. So
Mm-hmm.
and ever since then, I don't think Counter Strike has been quite as popular.
Yeah. Yeah, like and Jolly Roger. Yeah, Battlefront 2 on PS2 was the tits. That's how I played it. and I now play it on
Yep.
PC. But
PS2
I
version of
mean,
the Xbox One was the best.
well, you had Xbox Live.
Yeah, the Xbox Live, and they actually had the DLC you could get from there.
Yeah, what was in that DLC? I never had a fucking DLC.
They had like the Whip Lady,
The Whip Lady.
they had like Kid Fisto,
Yo.
and like he actually, I forget what his power was, but he had something cool. Like I don't know, did they ever add Kid Fisto in your version? But I mean,
Bro,
maybe
I never had Kit. He's not even on the fucking PC version. The DLC that originally came out exclusively for the original Xbox version of the game was released for Xbox One version on June of 2019. Yeah, it was an Xbox exclusive, dude.
I guess it still is. That's fucking ridiculous. It's still
Yeah, that's insane. There's probably a modder out there that has it for the um, PC Steam version.
yeah, no, like that was the shit. Like online, like that was why I think like like the Xbox, it didn't have the exclusives of the PlayStation and like the PlayStation I think won the first console war, but the Xbox
Mhm.
was a close contender. GameCube kind of sucked, but they had a couple good things going for it. But like out of all the systems, like all of them could. They did have an online service, like GameCube had one, PlayStation 2 did. There was like only a handful of games that used it, but it did like SOCOM and Final Fantasy like 11. But the Xbox was only like really built into it was like part of it from the get go. Like that was a big selling point. And Halo. Like that was a big thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Halo was the killer game for the Xbox.
But I know they had at least one at you could play online on the GameCube. But it was just like I think maybe like one or two games.
Well, it says here, LucasArts released the first two downloadable content packages for the Xbox version of Battlefront 2. The free content add the Hero Assault mode to Kashyyyk. That's pretty cool. I don't know why that didn't come with it. Another Xbox Live download was made available on 2006, which had two new heroes, Kit Fisto and Asajj Ventress. That's interesting that they had Ventress in there even before the Clone Wars TV show.
I think
Yeah,
that was time as the do you remember the original Clone Wars TV show?
Yeah, she was
I
in
do.
that.
I
Yeah,
Gandhi
yeah, it was created by the Genndy Tartakovsky who did Samurai Jack.
which honestly to me that's why I didn't. That's why it took me so long to watch like the new Clone Wars because for a long time I was like, what the fuck? Anakin never had an apprentice. This shit isn't the Clone Wars. This is the Clone Wars. And then, I finally relented once, I knew it was going to stay.
Yeah.
I
No, they're both awesome. I love them
yeah.
both. But yeah, they added her and Kit Fisto, like I said, to the game as well. And see, this is what is really cool. I wish my version had this. It has 4 maps from the original Battlefront: Yavin 4, Arena, Bespin, Cloud City, Ren Var Harbor, and Ren Var Citadel. I forget what those last two were, but I do remember the names. That was what I never liked about Battlefront 2 is it didn't have Bespin, which was one of my favorites on the Cloud City map on the original first Battlefront.
Well, you need like they had it, it's just not for your version.
Yeah. It says in addition, Hero Assault modes were added to Coruscant, Megiddo, and Naboo. The downloadable content is no longer available as the original Xbox Live servers were shut down in 2010, but it made it available for Xbox One. Yeah, I wish they add that to the fucking Steam, but I bet there's a mod I can find for that shit.
I'm waiting. One game I love to play, and it's single player only, but it's still fun to play. Are the Max Payne games?
I never played those, but I've heard of them.
You can play the first one for real. I think you can play Max Payne 2 as well, since you have a PC.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're real fun. It's if you like film noir and that type of stuff,
Oh yeah.
then you've got to play them. You'll love them. It's basically like a detective, and you just go around like killing guys. I mean, the control is like, it's real basic in terms of like controls, but the story is like really cinematic. You'll love it. So
Oh yeah, it's created by Rockstar. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
definitely interested. Intrigued I am. Did you ever play Halo?
I mean, I never owned an Xbox, but I knew someone who had one, and I would always. So yes, I did. So
You just didn't own it. You just played on with friends.
yeah.
Yeah, that's something. Honestly, I missed out on Halo because it looked like a lot of fucking fun, but I never had an Xbox. But I'm excited for the new Halo because it has a good potential to be good chance to be good.
I don't know, man. I have a bad feeling about the new Halo. Bungie, or what was it, 343
343.
has not met up to like Bungie's shit with Halo.
Oh, I know. That's what I've heard people say, but I think what's gonna happen is they're gonna fuck it up on launch, and it's gonna be like kind of. I don't want to say it's gonna be like Battlefront 2, the new one, where it eventually gets good like 2 years later. But I think they're gonna fuck it up on launch, and then after like a few months to a year, people will be like, "Oh, it's good now." I think that's what's gonna happen.
Well, this brings up my major problem with games just in general, and I know I've ranted about this before, but like back in the day growing up, back in my day, because I'm an old codger, when you got a game, it was a finished product, right?
Yeah,
So it
still broken and glitchy.
Now, see, if you look at the old Super Nintendo games, like I was playing an emulator with my brother a while ago. Half of those are complete shit. There's some good ones, and that's the only ones people remember. But for every good fucking Super Nintendo game, there was probably five like garbage, like broken fucking games.
yeah, that's true, but the point being is like, okay, so take the original Battlefield games that we love. Those were complete games. Like LucasArts took the time to make sure that those games were fucking good. Now, with games and with them being able to do updates, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is just me, but it kind of feels like the gaming industry has taken the, we can half-ass this shit because we can always go back and fix it later with updates. Like
That's definitely what they do now, but like when I was playing Battlefront 2, the original, there's still major glitches in that. Like when you die on Mustafar and several other planets, you'll fall through the fucking map.
oh yeah,
And
oh yeah,
there's nothing game breaking though.
it's
Look at the camera controls for like any game made pre like PS2 era.
Yeah.
I
Not
mean,
PS, like really Xbox 360. Back when look at like Spyro, like all of them, all these adventure games had like the shittiest camera controls.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying the games were perfect back then either. I'm not saying that. But to me it seems like they deliberately half-ass shit now because they can go, like shit that that they should be able to, you know, take care of early on, they don't. Uh yeah. Morgan says it perfectly. Now they want
They
you
had
to now they want you to pre-order unfinished. Yeah, shit. So
they had no choice back then. Like that's the thing. And that was a good thing in some aspects, but there's been a bunch of games too that like you know toward especially like Super Nintendo, those ones like before they had save functionality, it was a lot more common to see it like with the I think there was one, it was some like game show. It wasn't like it was like this sort of like futuristic like game show thing where you kill people in the game show. And the final boss was like bugged or whatever, and you couldn't beat it. You couldn't beat the game. Like, and there was a bunch of stuff like that.
Pre-ordered.
But it
Olive says pre-ordered ruined gaming.
pre-orders were. I hated pre-order bonuses like back when those were like a lot more prevalent.
Yeah.
I think the internet ruined gaming.
Yeah.
It ruined it in some ways, but it kind of enabled like whole genres of games.
Oh yeah.
Previously, like it's a double-edged sword.
Completely. Like I mean, multiplayer wouldn't fucking exist without the internet.
No,
as we know it.
It'd be split screen like LAN, but
yeah, that's gay.
Well,
I mean, it's fun. Like co-op was really fun, like for Battlefront, but you want to get online.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that could be a whole nother stream for, but like, people say the same thing about music, like the internet ruined music. That's what some people say. Now, to me, like, and I know,
double-edged sword.
To me, it's a double-edged sword. Like, I know you don't like music streaming, but like for me in high school, like, personally, I wouldn't have discovered Fleetwood Mac if it weren't for
man.
if it weren't. Now, I mean, my parents knew who Fleetwood Mac was, but like, I discovered them on my own through that. I discovered King Crimson on my own through the internet because of So
no, I'm kind of the same way where it's like I think the internet was mostly a gain for music because you could discover way more, but the downside was that albums kind of, I mean, yeah, albums still exist, but albums as an experience don't really exist as much anymore, and people just fucking buy singles, and that's it.
Well, although
it happened before, so
although personally, like, if you're one of my friends, I'm the one who makes you buy the whole album or add it to your streaming service or whatever and listen to the whole thing, and then I always get the inevitable, oh my god, Sam, you were right to listen to this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame too because I think a lot of modern artists don't put a lot of effort into the full album. They do the hits and then everything else is like filler.
Not commercial, but I've actually been contacted by a few SoundCloud bands here in Florida that are actually pretty good. I will say.
Oh yeah, no, I mean the modern music I like is not commercial by any means, and they still do like full album experiences. But a lot of these, like you look at like Adele's like famous album 21. It's you can see the hits and you can see the filler. Like it's pretty clear. I'm not saying the filler is bad compared to everything else, but you can tell that it was like, some of the filler might be some like hidden gems for some people, but it's mostly like just clear filler.
Yeah, I miss the 1980s when it comes to music. So
yeah, I personally think music was the best from about 1962 till 1992.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm being generous when I say 92.
Yeah,
but,
same here. That's kind of my range too.
Yeah,
like late 60s to very early 90s has kind of been my range of music for most of 2020. I've just kind of like in my daily listening.
Bruh, I'm gonna get this paper tomorrow, but the New York Times, their headline is, and I'll go back to gaming and music, but it says Trump incites mob. That's their fucking headline.
Oh no, man! Feel free to jump around. That's what this podcast has basically become.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm kind of getting. I've gone. I don't know how you guys feel, but for me, politics kind of got boring around kind of when I got out of college. I'd say like 2018, 2019. It started to get really like 2019 was boring, and then 2020 was just a fucking year of depression and nothingness, and kind of like lost interest. Like I started losing interest right after CPAC, right when COVID started, and like I don't know. I've kind of my interest is coming back, but I mean,
I
I'm
I
like
have
you've said
enough.
before, Sam. I get more interested in talking about music and culture, gaming, movies.
I have enough interest in it to cover it for the show, but honestly, the only way, the only time I really, the only time I really pay attention to politics now is when I'm doing show prep. And I mean, I'm happy to say it took me close to 15 years and 5 iterations of a podcast, but the Whitfield Report in its current iteration is literally my baby. And what I mean by that is like I can free flow from uh I can free flow from politics to music to movies to talking to you guys, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
do 4 hours because I'm no longer intentionally trying to be like, oh, maybe I can hook into Turning Point and do a podcast for them. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
can hook into Breitbart and do a podcast for them. Maybe I can hook up with Cringe, the Daily Wire, and
Oh God.
I mean, before Ben became Cringe, that's where I thought it would end up because I don't know.
Yeah, dude, Ben has gone so downhill. Like when we were, I mean, we joked about this for the past few days because I mean, I'd heard about he had this like cringy reaction to the WAP thing, but I actually finally watched it the other day, and the line that fucking gets me is, "Who wants a wet pussy?" I'm like, oh my God, Ben, the fuck is wrong with you?
uh, it break. You know, party, I take that back. Part of me does want to go work for the Daily Wire just so that I can pull an Andrew and like post centerfold pictures on Ben's office wall.
Yeah, I heard he'd do that to fuck with him.
Oh, and from I've heard stories, and of course, yeah, I do wax poetic because I admire him. But from what I've heard, he was just a funny guy, and that's
Yeah, he was a troll.
and that's me. I'm not out to really. I just want people to laugh. I'm a guy who's jocular, but if you piss me off, I get righteously indignant. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently they have the name of the Buffalo Cap guy.
Yeah, yeah, they found that out quite quickly. Dude, what's with all this shit? First, Chevron of all companies is like condemning the violence and saying how we need to come together and blah blah blah. Now fucking Chase, their CEO, I strongly condemn the violence in our nation's capital. This is not who we are as a people or our country. We are better than this. Our elected officials have a responsibility to call for an end to the violence, accept the results, and as our democracy has for hundreds of years support the peaceful transition of power. Now is the time to come together to strengthen our exceptional union. What's with all those fucking world corporations again now tweeting shit about this? Like nobody fucking like just don't you're here to fucking sell shit and do whatever you do. Like Chevron here sells gas, not give us like woke statements. But if Trump gets banned from everything, he's gonna be on Parler now. So I wonder how it's gonna shake things up. Parler ain't gonna be ready for it. Thing's gonna crash.
Oh yeah, they I don't know what they're doing like financially, or how they're doing financially, or what they're doing with their shit.
Mm-hmm. Dude, they're showing images of the ransacked Senate offices. Like there's papers everywhere. Holy shit. Yo, look at this guy. What is this? Is this real? What the fuck? Dude, look at this picture. I wonder if this guy's a Q dude. Or he's a boogaloo boy. I'm gonna post this in chats.
Apparently, the Buffalo guy he had a Q sign.
Oh no, he was a big Q dude. That was the one I was reading where the people were saying he was Antifa, and Elijah Schaefer was like, no, you idiots. Like this guy was literally like talking about Q nonstop. He said that Q sent him. Yeah, he says he's a huge supporter of QAnon and regularly walks around with a sign saying, quote, Q sent me. Dude, look at the picture of this dude that I just posted.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah, it looks like a LARPer.
Yeah, look at that, the fucking zip tie. It looks like fucking like Wolverine.
Yes.
Speculation is swearing that the zip ties were supposedly to possibly use to abduct members of Congress. Dude. Apparently, a West Virginia delegate who was just sworn in was among the mob storming the Capitol. Hey, Sam, I got your text.
Yep, sending you my contact card now.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, like I said, gotta send everybody this shit, or else you won't be able to find people. Create new contact. Oh, you do the you have a memoji.
Yeah, hold on.
Why is it still saying maybe Sam? I thought I created a contact. Sorry. I'll send you my contact card. Share contact with Sam Whitfield. Alright. I'm going to scroll through Twitter a little bit more and then we will close the stream soon. What is this? I probably just uploaded this to Parler. He quit MAGA. I'm like, can't handle it. Dude, that's not Proud Boy.
Morgan, I will send you the link to I can't send you the link to the DZ Discord, but I can send you a link to my Discord. you've been gone a while, Morgan. So long story short, I'm on my second Discord, oh, which is a story in and of itself.
I remember that saga.
Oh yes, actually, Morgan, you can probably find a couple live streams I've done on it from 2020, but all right. If any of you guys want to join,
What the fuck? When Linwood supposedly said on Parlor, during the whole storming of the Capitol, he said they let him in. Get the firing squad ready. Pence goes first. The fuck? That
so
Linwood guy's crazy.
who is this? I'm confused as to who this Lynn Wood guy is. Honestly,
He was the lawyer that was the head of the lawsuit Nick Sandman was doing against all the media outlets.
Oh,
I don't know. Here's the thing. He was on TV. I don't know how much he actually did for that lawsuit. I've heard conflicting things, so I really don't know how much he was really doing with that, but you know, take it for what you will. And he's just been going bonkers recently. Like, I bet he's a Q guy.
Sierra goes, I regularly jack off to my DMs with Sam's old account. Well, I mean, whatever does it for you, Serial.
Black Twitter. Oh, did you see this shit? People were saying that the reason that the Republicans were able to storm the Capitol is because of white privilege. Because the
Yes.
cops let them go because they were white.
You know, that's funny because I think I posted it earlier. There was Black Panthers did the same thing in '67 with pretty much similar results. You know, and
Yep.
they didn't get shot.
Yeah.
You know, so there was more white people got shot than when the Black Panthers raided. So that goes out the fucking door.
Mm-hmm. Oh, whoa. Breaking news. Twitter just suspended Linwood. Yep.
Not surprised.
I'm actually surprised because usually they keep these like kooky people on to make the right look bad. You know.
Yeah.
Spencer's still on here.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Linwood isn't kooky enough. So.
Oh, damn! The standards must be high then.
I mean, not kooky enough for Twitter. I mean.
Yeah, his account's fucking suspended. Interesting. Alrighty then. I guess that's a note to end it on.
Yep, we didn't go for 4 hours like we've done before, but
Yeah, we went for like 6. Because I kept the stream on actually the whole time.
oh really? I cut mine off at 1:55 earlier, and it still isn't done processing. So.
Damn, dude, this one's gonna take light years to process.
Yeah, well, unlike this one, unlike the last one I'm recording this one to my hard drive.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's one thing that I'm gonna do because when I was uploading all of our shit to fuck, what's it called?
Rumble,
No, the other
Anchor.
thing, Anchor. Yep, that's right. I was downloading the videos, extracting the audio, but I don't know why I didn't think to do this, but I wasn't backing up the videos. But what I'm gonna do is back up all these streams because lose our channel, we lose all the streams, all the other videos, like the videos that we've made and the radio broadcasts. I already have that shit backed up, but I don't have the streams backed up, so we gotta do that.
Yeah. Basic. So I know you came into the stream late, but for those who are joining these, I'm co-hosting with Sean and Alex, who have their own channel, Real News on Versamedia, which is their channel, and we cross streams a lot, so to speak. So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's who's on the
Yeah.
horn.
Yeah, we enjoy it. So we'll close it out for tonight, but I hope everybody's safe. I hope we all had fun shooting the shit here despite all the shenanigans. And why is it categorized as entertainment? This is not an entertainment show. This is a news and politics show. But yeah, dude, wild fucking day. Wild day. One for the history books.
I don't know.
Remember the 6th of January.
I don't know. This stream has been pretty entertaining. So
Yeah. Yeah, it works. I'm gonna make that the fucking 6th of January. Make that the fucking description on the video.
Discord. My Discord link is in the live chat. So before the stream ends, if anyone wants to hop in, feel free to do so.
Bruh, remember the bass chime in from the TPUSA meetings, Alex?
Yeah.
That I was friends with. He's like, I just saw Trump supporters are running into the hill. You guys are really doing something, huh? By the way, hope those guys succeed with the firm support from Trump. Oh my god, yes. This is what he was hoping for, because he's like, where he's from, it's like this shit's like normal. So he's like, you guys should storm your government and take back the power. I'm like, yeah, we kind of don't do that here. Fast forward to today.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, as I said on Facebook, and as I've said on other platforms today, people have been giving me crap for being kind of skeptical of 2021 being a good year. And all I have to say is I think today more or less validated.
You're wrong.
I think today more or less validated my skepticism. So buckle up, mofos. It's gonna be a bumpy ride again.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll close the stream. This is probably just as long or longer. It's gotta be not as long as our election day stream. We're at almost 8 hours. So thank you, people, for tuning in or sticking around for as long as you did. Thank you for the 2 likes. Appreciate that. And I hope we got some subs from this, but I don't know if we did. But thank you, everyone, and stay safe out there. It's gonna get crazier.
Yep. And for those listening on the Whitfield Report side of things, God bless, God save this great nation, God, freedom, legacy in that order. And I will see you guys technically today for the Thursday show, and then again on Saturday. So thank you guys for watching, and God bless. And please like, subscribe, all that, and leave the podcast a 5-star rating. Good night and God bless.
Wash your hands and clean your penis.
Mm-hmm. And welcome back, Morgan.
Alright. Bruh, total watch time 7.